Okay, that's okay. Yeah, that's confusing. Man, you're doing the freaking day, so I'm not too. Nice, it's like one. I couldn't get the other one. Well.
Over 7 out of 10 people who have ever entered one of these sites remain housed today.
Megan Goldstein, KCBS. A 63-year-old woman was beaten by a group of teenagers in San Francisco yesterday, leaving her hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. Police are searching for 2 girls and a boy, all between the ages of 16 and 18. They are suspected of punching, kicking, and hitting the woman with a broom about 3 p.m. near a parking garage on Mission Street. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital when they found her. As of today, her condition has not been made public. No arrests have been made so far.
Police in San Francisco also say they have arrested 3 people in connection with an armed robbery earlier this month. Officers received a description of the car used in the robbery earlier this month and say they spotted it twice, first on 80 and then later in the Tenderloin. Police say when they attempted to stop the stolen vehicle, it crashed on Franklin Street near Fulton, and the suspects tried to run away. Investigators say all 3 suspects had outstanding warrants in other jurisdictions and were in possession of guns and burglary tools.
Just ahead on KCBS, I'm Raquel Maria Dillon in West Oakland, where BART riders can try out prototypes for new fare gates that are supposed to foil fare evaders.
So we need to update your travels around the Bay Area. It's been a really weird week with the patterns. And from your local Honda dealer's traffic center, Kim is taking a look at a bad Highway 17 spill.
And it's really the only significant backup we have in the Santa Clara Valley, but it's a big one. If you're headed out of the Santa Cruz Mountains, we've got a big backup, several miles of bumper-to-bumper traffic still in, the northbound direction right before you get to the Highway 9 junction, right around the Main Street overpass, car down and embankment. The right lane is still blocked. We've got fire department, CHP on the scene, and the backup stretches to Bear Creek Road. Just northbound, southbound is getting by with no delay. On the East Bay, we've got a pair of newish problems on the Nimitz Freeway, southbound in 80 San Lorenzo. This is a 2-car crash before the 238 junction, blocking the left lane. Maybe one other lane. They're moving things around right now, so traffic is stacking up. And then Hayward, southbound 880 before 8th Street, we've got a stall right there in the backup, blocking the right lane. Also in San Francisco, I mentioned the traffic headed to the lower deck of the Bay Bridge is actually diminishing, but we do have a 2-car crash now westbound 80 to Skyway at 9th Street. The left lane is blocked. So coming into San Francisco, maybe on the upper deck of the Bay Bridge, you'll encounter that backup. Next report, 618 on the traffic leader, KCBS. Late this afternoon, the National Weather Service Bay Area extended a coastal flood advisory. It's not going to be in effect through 2 p.m. tomorrow for the combination of high surf and a potential storm surge. This is all up and down the coast in the Bay Area. Tomorrow, we're also looking at some rain. It comes back into the forecast by midday. Could be heavy at times with some lingering showers and a chance of thunder showers overnight into Saturday morning. Sunday, New Year's Eve should be dry. Monday should as well. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS. staircase are tall and reach almost to the ground. Only a skinny little kid can fit underneath. And the doors open away from you, nearly silently after you swipe the clipper card.
Good idea. I see so many stair jumpers here. I'm glad they're doing something about it.
What do you think of the design?
It's a little bit New Yorkish.
That's not a compliment coming from regular commuter Stephen Chen. BART spokeswoman Anna Duckworth said they're testing different models here. One made out of clear fiberglass, another of perforated metal. Sturdier and easier to clean.
It's going to be really difficult to climb over, fall under, push through.
I saw at least 2 people try to exit here and then turn around and get back on the train. BART staff said people also tried to jump the staircase railings to get out. It's dangerous, but that means the pilot has successfully pointed out all the ways stations will have to be reconfigured for the new gate. In West Oakland, I'm Raquel Maria Dillon, KCBS.
Former Cal swim coach Terry McKeever has admitted to abusing swimmers emotionally and physically while working at the university. There's been a deal with the U.S. Center for Safe Sport. Southern California News Group obtained an 18-page confidential document outlining McKeever's confession earlier this week. It's the first time she took responsibility for the abuse allegations. An investigation in May of last year unveiled more than 90 incidents where McKeever bullied and abused swimmers, forcing them to compete while injured and hurling profanity and racial remarks at them. McKeever was fired in January following the investigation. She was the most successful swim coach in Cal's history.
A judge in Sacramento has ruled that Assemblyman Vince Vaughn can run for the seat of outgoing Congressman Kevin McCarthy. The Secretary of State in California had previously ruled that Vaughn could not run because he had already decided to run for re-election in the Assembly. And under state law, candidates are not allowed to run for 2 public offices at once. But a judge disagreed, saying the state law doesn't prevent him from running and ordered his name to be added to the certified list of candidates. Vaughn issued a statement this afternoon calling the ruling a victory for the district's voters. Vaughn said he's grateful that the judge upheld the integrity of our elections, citing the Central Valley voters against an overreaching Sacramento politician. McCarthy actually briefly endorsed Vaughn.
We're 2 minutes away from the sports center. We are going to go down to Chase Center.
Since first opening its doors in 1964, Fremont Bank has approached banking with a simple idea in mind.
Growth comes one customer at a time. You see, while some institutions might be on the lookout for the next big thing, we like to find that kind of thing.
And when you achieve great things, it leads to success throughout the community. It also allows us to continue our tradition of giving back to the region. It's a strategy that's proven successful for millions of years.
In my quest for the perfect rest, I discovered the importance of the pillow. That is, the oxygen pillow from European Sleepwear. It's custom fitted to just the right height and firmness. No more crunching and punching all night. It supports the head and neck, which also can help nighttime breathing. Find out why they sell thousands. The oxygen pillow from European Sleepwear at Avalon and Ashby in Berkeley. Or online at sleepworks.com.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making this year's book special. I earned cashback on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cashback on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cashback. 2 days to discover. Eligibility in terms of discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
You tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Johnny Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odor, it helps remove them.
Wow, it works, guys.
Johnny Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Coming up on KCBS in about 5 minutes, we are going to take a look into the dark world of squatting and why it's so dangerous. KCBS News Time 6:15.
We want to know if the Warriors can build some momentum with these home games. We go live at Chase Center where Matt Pittman is courtside.
Well, good afternoon. Yeah, courtside here at Chase Center watching Clay Thompson go through the preview and the warm-up. Looks like he's done. Steph Curry was just down in the tunnel signing some autographs. The Warriors have played very well of late, despite losing their last game and lost on Christmas Day to the Denver Nuggets, the defending champions. Golden State win streak that directly coincided with a change in the starting lineup, inserting Brandon Pajinski, the rookie, in the lineup in place of the veteran Andrew Wiggins. And of course, with Draymond Green out, Jonathan Kuminga has taken those minutes as the starting forward in the lineup, and that's where things kind of turned around, according to head coach Steve Kerr. Limiting penalties 95 of the game.
We did change the starting lineup, which I think changed the vibe a little bit. We struggled for the first 20 games. We just couldn't find any momentum, and it just felt like the right time to make a lineup switch. That shift coincided with Draymond's suspension, and I think maybe we had a little bit of clarity at least.
And now the Warriors look to capitalize on this advantageous stretch of games with 7 straight home games and 11 home contests in the span of their next 13 games, which began with the December 16th game versus Brooklyn and extends all the way to January 10th, which is the next time the Warriors will travel. So they've got the better part of the next 2 weeks to rack up some wins. They've won 8 straight here at home, looking for their 9th straight with a win tonight over Miami. And the goal at this point is to get above 500 and start to climb in the Western Conference standings as we approach the All-Star break, which is then when we start talking about playoff seeding. But first things first, Warriors Heat tonight at 7. Reporting live from Chase Center, Matt Pittman, KCBS.
Texting throws you with a recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while. Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get. Couldn't be lower testosterone, lower age. Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me. I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real? Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean. And it's made a difference for you? Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom. Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves? Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text Rocky to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermal, our most powerful fat incinerator ever. Now you put my face off and absolutely free. Text ILCKY to 42424. That's Rocky to 42424.
Caught up on KCBS traffic on a Thursday. We're going to head right back to your local Honda dealer's traffic center and check in with Kim.
Let's go back to the Nimitz Freeway. We've had a couple of minor issues. Backup is not so minor now. San Lorenzo, if you're driving southbound on 880, we had a 2-car crash just before the 238 interchange. Lanes have just been cleared, so there's a lot of heavy traffic southbound approaching the scene. Also, car broke down there too, southbound 880 before A Street. In Hayward, still stuck in the right lane, so a couple of wrinkles there for that southbound ride. And the 880 through Oakland is completely emptied out. So we've had no delays at all on 880 or 580. Your ride to the Caldecott Tunnel, eastbound 24, 13. Everything is just moving along fine. East Shore, still a bumpy ride. Westbound to 80 through Berkeley, Emeryville, we had a crash at Gilman Street. A lot of folks headed to the Bay Bridge, and your ride into the city is starting to stack up. With the Warriors at home tonight, too, as Matt mentioned. So it's bumper to bumper from before the island. Really slowing your ride into the city. Luckily, no new accidents or stalls to report on the Bay Bridge in either direction. Next update, 628 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
We have the Mancini Sleep World 6-day forecast. Visit Mancini Sleep World during our year-end clearance event or visit sleepworld.com.
The high surf peaked earlier today in places like Capitola, but the warning is still in effect until 3 a.m. And the National Weather Service in the Bay Area has extended a coastal flood advisory through to tomorrow afternoon because of high surf and that storm surge. Another more potent system arrives midday tomorrow. Rain, wind throughout Friday afternoon. That's going to turn to scattered showers for your Saturday morning. Cloudy the last day of the year. We're going to kick off the new year on a dry note as well. Won't last for long, though. By next Wednesday, another system brings more rain and breezy conditions. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
We have more news for Thursday evening.
Well, this holiday season, there was a rash of swatting incidents targeting U.S. politicians, drawing a heavy police presence under false pretenses. The fake calls have been happening more over the years, making experts worried about the long-term consequences and how to prevent the phony calls and responses. For more on this, KCBS's Pat Thurston spoke with Lauren R. Shapiro, professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. She's an expert on security and emergency management.
So, first of all, what is spotting? It sounds like people are getting spanked.
Well, no. Swatting is defined as making fraudulent 911 calls to report some serious criminal threat or an ongoing violent situation such as bomb threats or hostages. We're trying to trick law enforcement, in particular SWAT, into raiding the home or business of some innocent person.
Why?
Well, their motives do vary. So sometimes they have some personal animosity, maybe they're jealous, they perceive that they've been harmed by this person and they want to get revenge. Sometimes it's as simple as just bragging rights. They want the notoriety to say, oh, I was able to SWAT, 15 people. They find it fun. They find it entertaining to humiliate and terrorize people. If they don't like that person, or if they don't like the opinion of that person, or they disagree with the act that they promote. So it could be so many of those reasons.
So I know Marjorie Taylor Greene is a frequent target of this, but most of these statements to the police, that's a crime, isn't it?
It's not a crime in the sense that there is a federal or state crime specifically targeting swatting. Instead, what they need to do is they need to look at the case and then sort of like a puzzle piece, determine how that matches with the current laws. So we do have current laws that you can't make phone calls, 911 calls, so they can use that, for example. They're not allowed to indicate that you have a bomb and then cause law enforcement to go and investigate that. That's another law. But they don't have one law in particular.
Maybe they should. And so there's a huge cost here, too. I mean, there's the target, of course. This is a horrible thing to have to endure, especially multiple times. But there's also a cost to send SWAT out. Is there the potential to charge the people, if you know who they are who made these phone calls, to make them pay for the cost of the response?
I think that's an important aspect to this situation. First of all, it can cost anywhere between $15,000 to $25,000 for each incident because you're wasting the resources and salaries of these first responders. And you could create a law that then anybody who's prosecuted and found guilty would have to pay a fine that included the amount that it cost.
I wonder if that would be sufficient. And it seems like I'm guessing that one of the reasons that it's increased so much over the past couple of decades has to do with social media.
Probably, and then this notion that you don't know who I am, I'm swatting you, and it's so difficult to prosecute those kinds of crimes, so they get away with it. If not forever, for a pretty long time. It takes up to 1 to 4 years to investigate who the swatters are, and not only that, they could be doing it multiple times during that time.
That's Lauren R. Shapiro, professor of John Jay College of Criminal Justice. She's an expert on security and emergency management.
Jobless claims are trending higher. We've got the money watch from Jason
That's not what he's supposed to do. Very dangerous what he did. Very, very dangerous.
While long-term claims were slightly higher at just under 1.9 million. Layoffs
He's going way too fast. It's been very reckless.
Month of 2023, there have been nearly 687,000 job cuts, more than doubling the number over the same period of 2022. Tech has been the biggest cutter, laying off more than 163,000 workers through November, more than doubling the year-ago pace. While other sectors laying off lots of workers included retail, healthcare products, financial, and warehousing. Challenger says at the same time, announced hiring plans by employers are on pace for the lowest annual total since 2015. Stocks were mixed today as a sell-off in oil stocks and a big decline for Tesla weighed on the market. The Dow